What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Andrew Nordbye. I'm taking over today. If you haven't seen my YouTube channel, Fishing with Nordbye, please go check it out. But we're here on beautiful Lake Guntersville. This lake is huge and open down here on the south end, and we're gonna go out and try to catch some summertime bass. It's early summer, the fish are moving out. I'm gonna be fishing deep today for them. The water's getting up close to 80 degrees and these fish are starting to move out deep. Now this is Guntersville. These fish do stay in the grass all year long. There's big ones that stay in the grass all year long, but it also has fish that move out deep, and I love fishing deep for some bass. So we're in the Bass Cat today. We're gonna go graph around, look for some big fish sitting on some ledges. We'll be throwing some different baits at them, maybe cranking, maybe dragging a worm, maybe a jig, drop shot. We'll just have to see what they're doing. But I'm excited. I'm ready to get out here, go catch some fish. Let's go get them. Alright guys, we're sitting here on a main river ledge. It is loaded with fish. We're going to cast down to them. We're going to start off with a little crankbait, see if they want that, and go from there. There's a bunch of fish down there. That's awesome. You saw them on the screen just now, so let's catch them. Alright guys, so here's what I'm looking for on a ledge. You see all these little marks right off the bottom? All these are bass and white bass, and we're about to cast in them. They're mixed in together. We're about to cast in them and catch them. That's what you're looking for. They're in 18 to 20 feet. Whew! Okay guys, super windy day out here. It is blowing. I had to put on my windscreen on my camera. Turn on live scope here. I'm gonna start out by cranking. We're gonna throw on this 𝗙𝗶𝘀𝗵𝗶 Recon. We're gonna crank it around here. Deep crank on this hump. Gotta have your reel set right to cast into the wind here. And it is a little loose right now. Tighten it up a couple. Whew. Sometimes deep fishing is tough in the wind. We're gonna catch them though. It's been slow. They're not biting. Sometimes they don't bite till they start pulling more current later in the day. The fish active. There were a bunch here though. I think they're whites and largies mixed together. So we're just gonna crank through them real quick. See if anything wants to bite. Cranking it down to the bottom, and then I'm pausing it. Giving it little pauses. Burning it, and then pausing it. Yep, there's a fish. That's a good one, guys. Yeah. I can't tell. He felt bigger than that a minute ago. Now he feels a lot smaller. Let's see what we got. Oh, wow, it's a white. That's a big old white bass. I thought it was gonna be a largie. That thing is a chunk. Look at that. That's a 16, 17 inch white bass. Ate that deep crank. Thought he was a largie. He was so heavy at the beginning of that hook set there. Whew. See ya. That was a good one. Wow. Let's get another one. The whites and largies mix in together on this lake. They're all just chasing around bait down deep. Oh, I already got another one, guys. Back to back. I think it's another white. It's coming in pretty easy here. Come here, fish. We might have to throw something else down to them that the whites won't eat. If you throw a worm or a jig down to them, the whites will pass it up, but the largies will munch it. But they are feeding on shad, so this is also a great bait to catch the largies. Dang, that fish was fat. Yes, you want to know if they're feeding on shad? Look at the belly on that white bass. My goodness. Just another giant white bass. That's fun though. We'll make a couple more casts with this, and if we keep getting whites, we gotta switch baits, try to weed the whites out. Let's walk to the back of the boat and make a couple more casts. The school of fish is right back there. Craft over them. There's one. Yep. Another one. Woo! He's fighting so hard. These are giant white bass, I think. Sometimes it's hard to tell if they're largies or whites when they're this big and tucked to the bottom like they were. Another one. Not as big as the last couple. A lot of times you'll foul hook them with this crankbait because they're just swiping at it. I think it's a shad running away. And you gotta be careful so you don't get hooked. I always grab the bill and then I pinch them behind the head and they don't really move. That's what I like to do to take them off here. But, man, this hook's got him good. I need pliers on this one. All right, we're gonna set this down and pick up the old worm. Try the worm. A lot of times the whites won't touch that worm. Try to find the largies that are sitting down there on the bottom. They're up chasing shad though too, so it's hard telling. Well, let's try the jig. Got me on a big 3/4 ounce. And we're gonna put a little trailer on it. Let's see. Get my craws out here. This guy right here, we're gonna throw watermelon red saw craw on it. Something that flaps. That ought to catch them. I'll break the claws and the antennas apart so they flap good. We're gonna throw the whole thing on there. We're not even gonna take off any. Big old trailer. Get these basses' attention. 3/4 ounce jig. Yeah. Let's try that. Big old jig. About 20 feet deep here, so I'm chucking it out there, letting it sink all the way to the bottom, and then you can do one of two different ways. Well, really you can fish it 3 ways, but you can either just drag it back slow like a Carolina rig. Sometimes that's how they want it. You can do little hops all the way back, little twitches. Sometimes that's how they want it. Or when you're out here deep on the ledges, sometimes you need to get their attention or you need to make them react, and they're only going to hit it if it's a reaction bite. And you can do what's called oh, one just hit it. Sorry guys, lost my train of thought. He's not on there. Dang. You can do what's called stroking a jig, where you basically set the hook on it and let it free fall back to the bottom, and they'll hit it when it's falling a lot of times. I got hit right there, but he's not on it. With as many fish that are down there, I'm gonna try stroking the jig for a little bit. Oh, one smacked it while it was falling right there. Just get their attention. You gotta pay attention to your line. After you stroke it, oh man, they'll hit it. And I got hit twice right there stroking it. They smacked it. Look at that. There's a scale on my hook from one smacking it. And me setting the hook and it wasn't in his mouth, I guess. Try it again. Alright guys, stuff was bumping the craw here, but nothing was eating it. I feel like those are little white bass bumping it. Largies are just not seeing it. It's hard to get them to see the bait when there's so much bait down there. Let's try throwing a giant swim bait and see if that works. Big old 6-inch swim bait. We're just gonna crawl it along the bottom here. Man, I thought I had one there. Well, some floating grass, but let's step it up to the big crankbait. See if we can get any bass on it. 10XD, giant here. Sometimes you gotta go big for them big bass. Chuck it out there about as far as I can. And when you're fishing a deep crankbait, you want to drag the bottom. This one's definitely going to get to the bottom, so I'm keeping my pull straight. That's the less that is the less amount of resistance you can have reeling this crankbait, and it's not going to wear you out. There's one. We got one, guys, on that big crank. Oh, come on. Whatever it is smashed it, but now he's coming in easy. Let's see what we got. Oh my gosh. It's a white bass. Big old white. Man. Got him in the eye too, poor guy. Whew. Gosh. Big old white. That's crazy. Even the big whites are going after this thing. Trying to weed through them. There's one. I'm telling you guys, we're gonna run into a largie here. It's just a matter of time. That's fighting like a largie. There's a largie. Yes. Oh yeah. Told you. I told you the largies live in between these whites. Yeah. There you go, guys. That is a good one. That's a 2.5 pound largie. That'll work. I had to switch it up and get something to grab their attention. Giant crankbait. There you go. Big old 2.5 pound largie. That felt a little better than those whites. I knew it was a largie because as soon as I set the hook, it started coming up wanting to jump. Those whites just run sideways on you. They don't really try and come up and jump. There we go. Let's get another. There's one. Looks like a good one. Oh, he's coming in like a white now. Man, we're gonna have to move spots. There's too many whites here. Plenty of them to weed through. Too many. Make a couple more casts after we take this guy off. That's a big white. Grab the bait, grab the fish, squeeze him hard so he doesn't wiggle. Take the hooks out. Don't hook yourself. Alright, just pulling up to a new ledge here. I'm gonna start off cranking again. There's one. Good one, guys. Good one. I think that's a big largie right there. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Woo! Pull up to a new ledge here. He's coming up to jump. Stay down, buddy. Stay down. Stay down. Yes, that's what we're after, guys. This right here is what we are after. That's amazing. That's a good one. Whew, that's bigger than that last largie. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. On the crank. Look at that. Man, look how fat he is. He's been down there munching up, feeding. That's a beautiful sight. Another 2.5 fat. See, buddy. Whoo, there we go. Let's get another one. They're loaded down here. Oh, that's a good feeling right there. Got one, guys. Switched up the crankbait. We got us another little largie. There we go. Not bad, not near as big as those other ones, but another one. See ya. There's one. Just going slow with it. Maybe they don't want it burned today. 2 in a row, going slow. 2 in a row. Okay. Thanks for biting, little buddy. try going slow for a few. See. Well guys, that's all the time we have for today out here on the ledges. I hope you learned a little something about fishing in the summertime. We found some fish, we graphed for them, and then we fished over them. And you gotta have a bunch of different baits so you can try to get down there deep and see what they're wanting to eat. The crankbaits were the best option for the bass today. I threw swim baits, I threw worms, I threw a jig at them. I did not catch a bass on anything but a crankbait. And today I had to weed through the whites, like I've said multiple times. They're down there feeding on shad. You got to match the hatch. And today it was those little crankbaits. We were burning them there at the end. I started slow rolling them, caught a couple more bass, but had a blast. So we used a lot of baits. I got on Karl's bait and tackle today, that 𝗂𝗂𝗯𝘂𝗵 Recon crankbait. I caught a lot of fish on, came from there. And then I also used some other deep cranks and stuff. But everything's linked down below. Thank you guys for watching. Again, make sure you check my channel out, Fishing with 𝗦𝘂𝗶𝗯𝗲.